Folks, welcome, welcome, welcome. Another great Tuesday, another fabulous time. Creative Financing with JB. We have our fabulous guests here, the Johnsons, where we're going to talk about some record-making experiences that we're about to have, some things that have happened within the last year, and some things that's about to be happening shortly. For as our audience know that we coming back and Mr. John, we had a great time last year doing that 5K run walk right there at UD, which was an awesome event. Great turnout, great weather.
God was good.
Very good, very good, and he gave us a chance to get out there and move our bones and talk and connect with folks here. And we back again, and I'm not gonna belabor the point, but if y'all could just give our audience just a little breakdown for those who haven't had the history of the foundation, a little backstory on that, if you can.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are the Faith Deanna Johnson Foundation Awareness for Ovarian Cancer. And that came about, my daughter, her name was Faith Deanna Johnson, passed away from ovarian cancer in 2021. And some of her last words as she was on her last breath, she said, "Mom, Dad, I need you all to help other women. You'll never get a chance to walk me down the aisle, Dad, because I'm your only child, and I'll never be able to get you a grandchild. But I know you guys have resources and you guys can help other women with this deadly disease, ovarian cancer. And that would be my wish for you all to do." So that when that happened, we took a hiatus for 2 years because we were in a deep grief at that point. And being in that grief, we seek counseling from group counselors, also from our pastors. And at that time, that was the height of COVID. So you couldn't have the interaction, the social skills that we have today. That being said, after the 2 years, we rolled up our sleeves and we said, okay, Faith, we talk to her just about every day. We're going out to save lives, bring awareness to this deadly disease, ovarian cancer. That's how the Faith Deanna Johnson Foundation formed. We're a 501(c) organization in the state of Delaware. And we just, I don't know if I should open it up real fast, but we just acquired our own facility now. We're sitting right now in her name.
All right.
Yes, sir. And we're going to have a ribbon cutting ceremony on March 19th at 10 a.m. in the morning. Yes, sir.
Amen, amen. And folks,
I'll let my wife add to it.
Yeah. And Miss Johnson, welcome. Here we are. We're so thankful for the opportunity, and we're excited for that 19th to come around and see that long ribbon cutting that has taken place, and that's going to take place, and the folks that's going to come out and celebrate with us, as I'll be there as well to celebrate that great event that we're going to have. So tell us a little bit of where the foundation's at right now and where our journey's leading us to.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Yes.
Well, we are ready to launch our programs and services for women in the community. And just as it would have, this is March, which is Women's History Month. So in light of Women's History Month, so the legacy of empowerment continues as we launch the Faith Deanna Johnson Foundation in honor of a young lady, and also to save the lives, of course, of the women in the state of Delaware. So we are on Thursday. Dwayne has probably already said it, but as I repeat, March 19th, 10 a.m. to 12 noon.
All are welcome.
We will be launching this milestone community launch uh, to to save the lives of women. So our focus is ovarian cancer, but we will also um, include all gynecologic cancers, which is also cervical cancer and uterine cancer. But
Mm,
ovarian cancer is the most deadly cancer of the gynecologic system, of
mm,
the system in women.
And it's such a silent killer because the symptoms are so vague. You think you're just bloating or you think you're just urinating a lot. And that could be symptoms that you're having, or you may have symptoms of ovarian cancer. This was what my
mm,
daughter had. And when you go to the physicians and clinics, sometime they misdiagnose, and sometime being an Afro American person or Spanish person, you just don't get the right services when you go to your healthcare provider.
hmm.
Yeah.
And can you expand on that little House bill that they passed
Let my
um,
wife go ahead.
for that?
That was House Bill 15 in 2024. That was to expand coverage for women at risk for ovarian cancer. So some women, their insurance company was not covering testing. So this new law now requires insurance companies in our state to pay for screening and testing. Now, ovarian cancer is very hard to detect. So unlike cervical cancer, where you can uh, have that Pap smear
Hmm.
performed annually, you will not have an annual test for ovarian cancer unless you are at risk for it. But our goal is to make this something that is annual. So we're taking baby steps, but the passage of this act, it increases awareness. And our goal now is to start tracking the
Hmm.
effectiveness of the new law to make sure that all healthcare providers are aware of it. I
Hmm.
know that a lot are because I've heard that when the law was passed, that there were a lot of healthcare professionals were calling some of the legislators and trying to get an understanding of the law to make sure they were in compliance. But as
Hmm.
we are working in the community, we find that a lot of women are not aware, and they are grateful to be enlightened as we talk about awareness in the community. So our goal is to make women aware that there is a law in our state that requires insurance companies to pay for this screening.
And
And
Brother
we,
Baker, I just jump right on top of that.
mhm.
What my wife saying about in the state of Delaware, the law is now official and it's signed and it's active. And we're moving it forward. Right now, we're lobbying our legislators in Washington, D.C. on trying to move this, what would be an annual screening, not only in the state of Delaware, but all across the United States.
Wow, that's just such amazing. So I take it that before they had that probably have to have a special um they had to get a
Like a
special
referral from their
for
doctor or something.
yes, yeah.
Correct.
Hmm.
Correct. So, but if you go to the doctor and you are complaining of the symptoms related to ovarian cancer, what we have found is that most doctors were not even testing for, in my daughter's case, she had never been tested for it until after um, they did surgery. So,
Hmm.
had someone tested her when she was having the symptoms, it could
Hmm.
have been caught earlier. But in her case, it was caught at a very late stage, as is most women with this disease. And that's why awareness is so important. So, over 78% of the cases if for women that get diagnosed, they are diagnosed in a late stage. And that's why the majority of them die, because only 17% are
Mm.
caught early.
Wow, that's amazing, and we're encouraging our young women, our older women to get tested,
That's
um,
right.
Right.
so they can be able to, have this chance to survive and live through this stuff. And tell me, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, have y'all seen this start to improve since they passed this bill, or are we just now starting about to test on?
No, no, I would not. I would say that when we talk and we are in the community doing our awareness campaign, we hear from women that indicate that they have heard of the bill, so that's good.
Mhm.
But we don't have tracking in place yet to monitor the effectiveness of it. And so now, with the launching of our facility, we feel that we are better prepared to be able to start tracking the effectiveness of this new law.
Mhm. That's
Well, I
awesome.
just want to piggyback on that, Brother Bazemore. I was talking
Mhm.
to one of the legislators in Washington, D.C., that was here in Delaware, and they're saying they see the effect of the law. Now, they may be tracking
Mhm.
what's going on here in Delaware, but they see the effect that it's helping to save women for awareness that we do. So we're making a lot of noise.
Well, yeah, I
Mhm.
would agree. The awareness, yes,
Yeah,
awareness. More women have become aware since we have started our awareness campaign. We have participated in countless health fairs in the community. But as far as specifically tracking the bill and the effectiveness of the bill, um, I can't conclusively say that we have that data yet.
And one of our viewers asked the questions for those just learning about ovarian cancer. What is the most important message the foundation wants to share?
Well, we just want to share the awareness of it initially. Our goal is to make women aware of the fact that you are at risk if you have a family history of breast cancer,
Mm.
colorectal cancer, and uterine cancer. So those, you are at risk. So, there are things that you can do um,
Mhm.
once you recognize that you have a family history of those diseases. Now, in our case, I could say that my mom passed from colorectal cancer. Now, that was over 20 years ago.
Mm.
But at that time, no doctor said to us, well, your mom passed from this. They did tell us, that we should get tested for colon cancer starting at age 40. And me and my siblings have done that. But no one said, oh, by the way, since your mom, you have this history, that now you should look out for ovarian cancer, or you should look out, you should be aware of the fact that it's connected to ovarian cancer.
Mhm.
So knowledge is power. And so now that we know that, our goal is to make women aware not only of the symptoms, but the fact of a family history as well.
that's very true. And then also, one of the other things that we've learned in our study, if you have ovaries, you can be possible for ovarian cancer if you
Yeah,
have ovaries.
anyone, well, basically anybody with ovaries can have
Absolutely.
ovarian
Oh,
cancer.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah. Now,
yeah,
of
yeah.
course, some
Yeah.
some women have them removed, of course, with the hysterectomy and that sort of thing. So then they would not. But and I would like to reiterate the fact that what we just said, any woman, so it is not color, I would say that Caucasian women, I would say 2 to 1 are diagnosed more than African American women. However, the difference is more women of color die. So
Mm,
that we're trying to close the gap in that inequity.
mm. That's amazing. And next question is said, what resources does the foundation offer to support families affected by ovarian cancer? Do y'all have like groups
Right, and that was the purpose for establishing a facility, because initially, for the past 2 years, we have been just participating in health fairs and hosting health fairs as an awareness campaign. But now that we have our facility, and that is the purpose for launching and having the ribbon cutting, is to introduce our services to the community. So yes, so our goal is to have a grief share, to talk about grief, to also support women that are going through this journey. So we would like to offer, our goal is to offer things that are may not necessarily be considered clinical, but therapy that is supportive. So there are a lot of different therapies that are for any cancer patient. And so we would like to offer those services here as well. So, it will include things, such as yoga. It will include healthy eating plans. Nutrition, weight management.
Brother Bazemore, one of the other things that we got an office set aside for a doctor's office that we're trying to bring a doctor in, or we can do some screening, blood screening for this ovarian cancer also as well. So that's why we need the funding, and we need the help from the community to help us continue to do this work.
Yeah, because our listeners ask, who want, somebody just asked a question for listeners who want to help immediately. What's the best way to support your fundraising efforts?
Well, the best way is, we have a website. It's faithdeannajohnson.org. That's FAITHDEANNA. Johnson.org is our website. And you can always donate there.
Okay.
As well as volunteer your time.
Yes, we need volunteers.
Volunteer your time. Because right now, as we've been working diligently, and not only in the state of Delaware, California, Illinois, when we travel the country, we're out there doing this job, and you see what Faith said, Mom and Dad. So we need the funding, but we can have staffing to help us do what Faith wishes to do to help save lives. So volunteers will be a great help to us.
And folks, y'all heard it. Go to the website, faithdeannajohnson.org. Drop that donation for them as they go through do this work. I mean, it's a lot of work, folks, that they're taking the time for, so they can save one life at a time, and educate somebody that's probably going through this, because we know sometimes that when we get ill or we're going through some things, some of us got shut downs, and we don't want people to shut down in this case here. We want them to come and find the resources that Mr. and Mrs. Johnson is going to present to them, and some education about what can be useful for it. So, no donations too small, no donations too big for it.
Correct.
For it as well. For yours, for folks that don't like that online stuff, stop by on Thursday, and I'm gonna let y'all. I'm not gonna steal a joy in that ribbon cutting, but give us a little bit about that for Thursday.
Well, we will have civic leaders here that will help us launch our campaign, to continue our campaign in-house. We expect the community to come and visit the facility. We would like, at that time, we'll have the services that we will be providing. And it's going to be in stages, because we have applied for different grants to introduce various programs, but we will have brochures on Thursday that will talk about the services that we will start offering from our facility.
Oh, that's awesome.
And also, Brother Bazemore, I just wanted to add, if we could, to your listeners and viewers, anyone has a family member and in any type of history of cancer, we would like for them to come and we can educate them about this ovarian cancer. And then anyone that had ovarian cancer, we would like them to come also and meet other people who had ovarian cancer and still here and survive. And that way we can also just come together as one to fight this deadly disease. The more that comes together, we have a better opportunity to fight this disease. And then
Hmm.
when we start walking and moving on this legislation to go throughout the United States, we have more of a force.
And that's so important that we have a team of folks that just
Yeah,
walking and doing it together to really go through and educate our women that's probably struggling right now, as we said. And
yeah.
somebody asked a question here: how can our communities host or get involved in local events and health fairs that we can pass this education on to?
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you say
Oh,
that
yeah.
again, please?
It said, how can communities host or get involved in your local events and host health fairs to
Oh, just
educate?
contact us at any
Right.
time. We had at one time we used to put out all of our events, that we were participating in, and with limited staff, we are not always able to keep that updated on the website. But we will. That is our goal, to put on the website weekly the events that we will be participating in. So
Mm.
we hope to start back doing that again. Uh,
Hmm.
but if you follow us on social media, usually we post, during the week the events that we are participating in. So follow us, like us on Facebook and Instagram, and
Oh,
you can keep up with where we will be.
yeah, and that's important that we just go ahead and reach out and do those things so you can follow, get that education we need because folks, it's a lot of folks that need this and don't even realize
Correct.
how
Absolutely correct.
beneficial this is going to be to somebody out there that's going through a struggle, or you think it's just normal
Right,
behavior that your body's feeling like this, but
right,
your body's telling you something
That's
um,
right.
right,
for it and
right.
stuff, and this is important education that you need to be aware of for it. And somebody asked, what are the most misconceptions about ovarian cancer symptoms that are trying to be corrected through education?
Well, I'll say that's an excellent question. For one, a lot of women think that when they get their annual, um, and they have that pap smear, that's catching everything in that gynecologic system, and it's not.
Absolutely.
So the pap smear is really for us to diagnose cervical cancer. And so there is no one single test to detect ovarian cancer. Now, there is a blood test that you can take um, to give you an initial, I guess I want to say, an initial diagnosis, but that is followed up with other tests, like an MRI, vaginal ultrasound, to conclusively determine whether or not you have ovarian cancer. So that is one myth, that when you have your pap smear, that it's checking everything gynecologic, and it's not.
Mm, wow, that's amazing, and folks out there, that's some good education because you might feel that you're okay because you went through and you did that, but you probably need to
Right,
go further into it and stuff. And
right.
someone said, "Will blood tests or anything like that help detect it?"
Yes, a blood test. Yes,
CA one
there
twenty
is
five.
there is a blood test that
Mm.
you can take to detect it. Um, yeah. So it's not, they're not going to, if you go to your doctor and you complain of symptoms related to ovarian cancer, then they should give you a blood test. But there is a lot of different theories in the medical community that they don't want to just test everybody. And so, so right now, I would say that, once an assessment is done and they determine that you are at risk, then most likely they would offer you the CA 125. And I say that loosely because my daughter was never offered it.
And that's something, and Ms. Johnson, that's something that they can request when they go to the doctor to have those tests.
Correct.
That.
Yes, you can request it, especially, and I would say if you are having those symptoms outside of your normal cycle,
Mhm.
then you could be at risk for it. But the symptoms, again, like Dwayne mentioned early on, was that the symptoms are very vague. So there are
Mm.
things such as bloating, difficulty eating, pelvic or abdominal pain,
Urinating a
and
lot.
then frequent urination. So, and most times, and I would say many times when my daughter went to the doctor, she was always told she had urinary tract infection. Well, that's a symptom of ovarian cancer,
Oh, wow.
but uh, but no one ever gave her that test until, like I said, she had surgery to have the tumor removed.
Mm.
And that's what, so it wasn't until they tested the tumor to determine, what it was. And then they gave her the CA 125 blood test.
I wanted to
Mm.
add this also, Brother Bazemore. It's very important when you go to the doctor, and a lot of cultures when you go to the doctor, they're in fear going in, so they don't communicate good with the physicians or
Mhm.
whoever the nurse may be. But it's very important when you
Advocate for yourself.
it's very important that you have dialogue with your doctor. And if that's not happening, you
Right.
need another physician where you can have dialogue and you can feel how there's genuine dialogue instead of
Mm.
just being dismissed and saying, "Here, take this pill and go away, or
Mm.
take this medicine and go away," whatever that may be. You see what I mean? And that's one of the reasons we also have this facility here, because you can come here and relax, and it's not a clinical type atmosphere. It's more welcome atmosphere. As you see the teal behind, teal is the color of ovarian cancer, the green. So when you see the green ribbon, that's teal. That's what it means, ovarian cancer, teal.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, and a lot of women don't know that.
For that.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
that's something, that's some good information to kind of know
yeah,
when you see that.
yeah. So a
For.
woman can come here and more relaxed and not in a doctor's office. Because sometimes you go to the doctor's
Yeah.
office, you freeze up. You just freeze up automatically sometimes, you know what I mean? Hope they don't find nothing, you're wishing and you're praying. But you can come to our facility and it's more relaxed atmosphere.
Right,
And
right.
then you will like other individuals that you can just talk to.
Yeah. Do you think that some of these women don't know the questions to probably ask when they're probably
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, sure. That's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I believe that. But that is why we advocate.
Mhm.
And so, and we talk. And when you sit and talk with other women, so our goal of, again, not only to have grief share, but to have group sessions with women that have survived this disease, and they can talk with other women and talk about their symptoms and their process.
Right now in
Mm.
the state of Delaware, Afro American women are dying at great numbers, as I gave you the numbers earlier. So it's just
Mm.
getting a disease right now
Mm.
and don't even realize it. Yeah.
Wow. Somebody
So
asked,
again, placement. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
with your working in DC, are those legislators more open to new efforts to prevent this from happening or something to provide early detection?
Yes, absolutely. They're not all 100% on board, but it has been to the House. The Anna Johnson Foundation has been into the House, and right now it's at the Senate. and we're still moving. And you know, things in Washington D.C. moves awful slow,
Yeah.
but our daughter gave us a mission, and we're going to carry it out before we close our eyes. And it's
Hmm.
pretty much like breast cancer 40, 50 years ago. They didn't have annual screening for breast cancer. Someone made some noise and kept making noise, and now there's annual screening for ovarian cancer. For breast cancer and saving lives. And that's what we intend to do here.
Well, and I agree with all of that. And I would, just like to say that, there are some national organizations that are
Hmm.
also, fighting this battle. So before we came along, um, there have been um, organizations nationally that have worked with Congress to try and get some legislation passed for this and more research. So I believe what came out of those efforts was more funding for research uh, for a cure.
Absolutely. Research. Absolutely.
Mm.
But there are not a lot of organizations like ours
Brick and mortar.
that are working to bring awareness, because you don't know there's a problem until you are
Right.
made aware that it is a problem.
Hmm.
So, our focus is an awareness campaign in addition to let's find a cure. But and meanwhile, there are things that we can do to bring early detection.
Wow. Yeah. And what do you think our legislators are thinking that you know this can be done through regular treatments and we don't have to have anything special? Is that the concept we're
No,
getting?
it's more research. Basically, it's more research. So there are different therapies that have come out recently, to try and not only detect but treat. So just as the advances with breast cancer and other diseases, um, there are medical professionals that are constantly doing more research to try to bring this issue to the forefront. But the issue is also, again, like I said, it's funding. And so while we
Mm.
have made a lot of strides with breast cancer, not enough has been done for the other gynecologic cancers.
Mm. For
And
the seven.
early detection is key. If you
Hmm.
can detect any of these cancers early, no matter what they are, you have an opportunity to live and have a quality life. You catch it
Hmm.
in the later stages, chances are less to have a quality life. So being awareness, so we're doing, getting it out there, and we're in alliance with those organizations at the national, and they're doing their research. But we're the brick and mortar, hitting the pavement, telling the community of what's going on.
And that is so important
Yeah,
for so the question is, so if it's early detected, is it curable ovarian cancer?
Well, I would say that any cancer that's caught early has the
Ability.
probability
yeah.
of being cured early.
Mhm.
So, the later the stage, it could have metastasized and went to other parts of your body. And so the opportunity is early
That's great.
detection
That's great.
for
Yes.
better quality of life. Statistically, it's believed that, early detection gives you an extra 5 years with the
Mhm.
disease. So another 5 years of life. Uh,
For
so
somebody said, how many cases are coming? Do y'all know the cases that's becoming known of each year? Have they increased or decreased?
Well, what I have seen is like a 5 year average. So, yeah, that's the research that I have seen. It's a 5 year average, and so, and what I have looked at is all gynecologic cancers. So again, breast cancer is more common. Um, than some of the gynecologic cancers. So I would say I want to say, and loosely, that I want to say approximately in the state of Delaware, there's about 5,000 women were diagnosed in that 5-year average. And I believe it was from 2017 to 2021 was the last numbers that I looked at. And at that time, the number of women that were diagnosed for breast cancer was about 5,000 women. But 16% of those women, I would just say 16% died. So you had a lot more that survived. For gynecologic cancers, it was a little different. I want to say total for ovarian, cervical, and uterine together, I want to say it was less than 2,000 that were diagnosed with a gynecologic cancer. But for ovarian, 77% of those women died. So that's the disparity.
Big disparity.
Wow.
So, but it just tells us that all of the advances and research that's been done for breast cancer, and the fact that you can get a mammogram annually, it's saving lives. So so it's just the issue is the research and the lack of annual screenings.
Somebody said, are y'all working on a bill for DC as well to be passed?
Well, the work that Dwayne just mentioned, that is it comes out of DC, so that's a national bill, and so that's what we're trying to do, is to make it national. But then when you think about it, you've got you got to go through all 50 states for that. So right now there are 7 states with this law on the books, 7 states already that have it, and so it will take some time, and it won't move as fast as the bill that got passed in our state. It will take some time, but we believe that it will happen.
That's awesome. That at least we got 7 states. We got 43 more to go.
Right.
Well,
but that's it. That's why awareness is so important, because you don't know. I never heard of it until my daughter was diagnosed. Because what you hear is what people are making us aware of, and so the advocates for breast cancer did an excellent job in making people aware, and you can't put on a pink ribbon and not know what it means.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, right.
And the more education, the better.
The more education. That's right, and that's our goal: awareness, education.
For and stuff. And what are your somebody was just asking, what are the foundation's hours of operation if somebody's volunteering?
For volunteering, mostly between Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, between 10 and 5.
Okay.
And then on the weekends. Now Monday and Friday is like by appointment only, because usually we do a lot of health fairs on the weekend. So Mondays and Fridays are lighter. But we do a lot of the volunteers are needed on the weekends. And so there, during the summer, there are more, the summer and the fall, there are more health fairs that are, during the week as well. So, but we can always use volunteers when it's not a health fair, because there's a lot of prep and, involved. We need help with IT resources, social media posting, general office administration. Well, there's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Also on May the 2nd, Brother Bazemore, May the 2nd, we're going to have a summit, a health summit on May 2nd.
May 2nd.
May 2nd, a big health summit. We had one last year. It was phenomenal. And it was going to be at the Route 9 Library in Newcastle, Delaware. May 2nd.
May 2nd, Health Summit. So, folks, y'all hear that? May 2nd, mark your calendars. They're going to have a health summit at the Newcastle Library right there on Route 9. If I'm
a team of doctors. It was really nice. I don't know if you got a chance to make that one, Brother
No.
Really, really capacity. The place was capacity. We brought a lot of panel doctors in, and they spoke from their profession. It was really, really, really good. And we also opened it up to vendors as well.
That's awesome. So, folks, it's time to come out. Get yourself checked out. You're not alone. I always tell folks you're not alone. That and dads, bring your daughters out.
There you go.
Bring them out. Make that a date. For yourself to come out and see if we can make sure that we're in a good standing, good shape, have some good conversations, get the literature that
Yeah.
you need so you can be able to go through a time to support during the time of going through this, because it's so important, as they say, health is wealth.
That's
For,
right. Absolutely.
and how we stay healthy is so important. We just thinking of Miss Faith Deanna Johnson. That if we would have had the opportunity, and promote this thing so greatly, so we reaching out young folks, because sometimes, and I tell them, Mr. and Mrs. John, sometimes it's our diet too.
Right.
Very much so.
Right.
Causes our bodies
Sure.
to react
But certainly, I agree with that, and that's why one of the programs that we want to offer here would be weight management, healthy eating, but changing our diets. A lot of processed foods.
Some of the products that we buy, also, Brother Bazemore, some of the products. They have asbestos in some products that we buy. Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So tell us about those products.
Well, we don't know specifically about the products.
I can get into it a little bit. One of the products right now is talcum. I don't know if you heard about talcum powder.
Yes.
Talcum powder has been around a long time, and I understand there's asbestos in the talcum that is not purified. If you don't purify it and process it right, and you put it on your body and it gets into your genitals, it could cause cancer.
Well, there's a big lawsuit out right now that it's all over the internet that I believe it's with Johnson & Johnson that has believed to have caused ovarian cancer in a lot of women. So, you can, if you look that up on the internet, you'll see it's widely discussed, and there's a lot of litigation right now that this talcum powder that he mentioned is believed to have caused ovarian cancer. So there have been a lot of lawsuits. Some have been won, and I believe it's no longer sold. I think it was Johnson & Johnson. I believe it's off the market now, I believe.
Well, talcum is also used in makeup for women to put it on their faces. We've been doing so much research and find out some of these products that we're using out here could cause cancer as well. If it's not purified correctly, because it's come out of a mine that has asbestos in it. And if they're supposed to purify it correctly, and then when they sell the product, they're supposed to put a warning label on it and say, could cause cancer.
Wow.
Those are the things that is out there as well as we do our research.
Yeah, and that's that is so funny you say that. We used to think that in the summer we used to put powder on.
Right.
That was one of the things.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. We call it baby powder.
Yeah. Right. You smelled good and you was dry.
This is true. At our panel of doctors, when we had our last summit, we had one of the doctors said some of the product that's coming from certain overseas websites, they could have product, and they could have asbestos in it as well.
Wow.
Right, the synthetic materials, a lot of the synthetic materials,
exactly.
A lot of product, that's sold very cheaply could have carcinogens in it that causes cancer.
And folks, I'm going to recommend, please go to the website, www.faithdeannajohnson.org. Drop a donation. This research, this work that we have to put in, the stuff that we have to find out for the community that Mr. and Mrs. Johnson is out here doing, it can be costly. It's not free.
Right.
It takes time, and guess what? It takes more time as they travel and spread this word across from state to state. So you have to think of this is good money spent for it while we trying to figure out how we can control this, how we can make this a top priority in our health field. Because guess what? Just like breast cancer and colon cancer and those other cancers, diabetes and stuff, this can be that same priority.
That's right. Absolutely.
To help someone, just one person at a time. One person at a time to change it and get it done, and just look at it and say, hey, we have made these strides. As you see, they have made the strides with the run walk. They're doing the health summit. These things takes up a majority of their time and their diligence, and a lot of questions that people want to know, and that they're able to do that research to give them those type of resources and information that they can pass along to their loved ones.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yeah.
For it and stuff. And I'm encourage y'all Thursday, stop by, so we can, have the conversation, see the ribbon cutting, bring your checkbook. Bring that, and we saying that so we can go ahead and share and what we know that can make a change to what we're going through here. Because we see it happening so much, and sometimes it's quiet. I was telling somebody, Mr. and Miss Johnson, that back in the day when we got sick, our grandparents used to keep that stuff hush hush.
Yes.
Man, what happened?
What happened? Yeah.
We don't live there no more. We want to know now. We want to put a cure.
You don't want to live there, yes.
That's right.
Yes.
We want to put the work in as we go out and do it. And somebody did ask me the question about the run and walk. Will that happen?
That's September the 12th. September the 12th at the University of Delaware.
September 12th, folks. Mark that down. We're going to have that run walk again. It was a great time last year.
Yes, it was.
Good conversation and good talks that came out. We had some of our local representatives that came out and shared the experience for us. And it was a wonderful event, for us. So mark your calendar for September 12th that will be at the University of Delaware again. We will celebrate that opportunity to do that and walking in the name of Faith Deanna Johnson Foundation for it and stuff. And Mr. and Miss Johnson, tell us how long this foundation has been in effect for. What, maybe
2023. So we've only been 3 years.
3 years, 3 years strong, faithful 3 years.
3 years strong.
Yeah, 3 years.
Yes, we started out advocating, and so we started 2023. The legislation was passed in 2024, and we have been working since then. 2025, I believe, is when we received the funding for our building. So we received a grant to purchase this location, and we renovated it.
It looks beautiful.
Moving. Thank you.
Thanks, name.
Yes.
And stuff.
Yes, with the ribbon cutting, we're also going to have some fundraising. So we'll have a silent auction. So come out for that.
There's be food as well.
And yes, we'll have some light refreshments.
Yeah, that's awesome. Nice silent raffle and stuff for fundraising efforts. for it. It'll be so nice for it. Somebody did mention if they wanted to do like a fundraiser in their area, I recommended and I text them that, hey, they need to come out and have that conversation,
Certainly, certainly.
And I
where,
was just thinking that same thought.
mm-hmm,
Yes.
mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I think that's
Yes, come on and call us, make an appointment, and we can talk about how we can work together to bring more awareness and more donations.
Yeah, and we have to prevent this, folks. We don't see the effect that it has on our community, our minority and urban communities that sometimes struggle going to the doctors or facing
Right,
the reality of
yes.
right.
what's going on for it. And hopefully, my vision is that we'll start having some healthcare events where we can have some doctors there to kind of start doing some screening. So
Yes.
our fundraising is going to a very valuable type of vision that Mr. and Mrs. Johnson is going to put out there and provide something to help these families because as we know, healthcare is at an all-time high right now for some folks.
Yes. So
For
true.
with that, we never thought about the thing about what about these special little research projects that we need to get done. And
Mm-hmm.
part of this one right
Jesus.
there,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
how to keep it going, to
Mm-hmm.
get that research done. And
Mm-hmm.
tell us, Mr. and Miss Johnson, when somebody sponsors to get research done for a project like this, do y'all have to find a certain doctors or something like that, or how does that work?
I'm not sure I understand the question. I'm sorry.
So if y'all want to put out to get more research done for like testing,
Oh, yes. Well, yeah, that would be more specialized. I right now, what we have been doing, and the very first year that we started, our first walk, we participated in the walk with the national organization,
mm,
and a lot of their fundraising went for research, and so we donated to that cause for research. So, the second year we did as well. We donated to their research efforts. Last year, not as much because the last year was our first year fully hosting the walk.
mm,
Our first two walks, we did it with the national organization that was not in the state of Delaware. It was in Pennsylvania. But we want to bring awareness in our state. And that's why we chose to do our walk in Delaware and to start raising funds for awareness here in our state. And the more donations we receive, the more we can start back funding the national research efforts. There's some research being done at Christianity Care.
mm.
uh, so we may choose to support that research or to continue supporting the national efforts for research.
There's another research lab that's going on right now that we stay in constant contact with is the University of Delaware. No,
Mm-hmm,
I'm sorry, it's University of Chicago. That
mm-hmm,
hospital, University of Chicago, on the south side of Chicago, they have a lab and they're doing a lot of research there. But we know that we could set up in our doctor's office that we have in our facility, a doctor's office, and we can bring a doctor in. They can start doing some early testing. And that's what we're looking for to do here, along with the other programs that my wife had mentioned.
and that's awesome to be able
Yeah.
to do that. And folks, I'm glad to see that they even have a national, for it and stuff. But we asking folks to support the local. you know,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
That's yeah.
yeah, we love the
Yeah.
national,
Correct.
and we're not downplaying their work, but our
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah.
local foundation here with Mr. and Mrs. Johnson and the Faith Deanna Johnson Foundation is what we're working towards, so we can make this, very publicized within our state as we go from state to state to state to go, and as we grow, and education becomes the key to what we're doing out here. And folks, it's up www.faithdeannajohnson.org is the website, and check out the information that's on the website so you can find out what's happening out here with the foundation. And as Mr. and Mrs. Johnson go out here and just pounding the pavement and making sure that people are educated, see the strides that they're going to make. Because we gonna believe that we're gonna be all through the state. It's gonna be a national event here locally, to where we're educating folks, in all three counties. We have counties that we have to get the work out to, and let them know what the resources is available for them, and to make sure that the healthcare for us here. And
I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, the three counties, because I had an organization reach out from Sussex County, because we have not been to Sussex County yet, but that's because of a lack of resources and volunteers. So, but we have, we have participated. We have done a lot of awareness in Kent County, but not Sussex County yet.
Have y'all considered, somebody said, have y'all considered Zoom online stuff to help with that?
That's a good idea.
That's and that's why we have the facility now, and we do have the communication and the technology to do that. So, and we can certainly consider that.
And that's awesome to be able to even go on that until we can put boots on the ground in that Sussex, and as we to grow in those neighborhoods because we know that our healthcare system is not as great as it is up in northern Delaware. Our research and stuff. So that's going to be a great opportunity to get that. And folks, if y'all know health fairs and y'all have the resources for Mr. and Mrs. Johnson to come to those health fairs in those counties, stop by, give them a call, go to the website and probably ask a question, how they can come down and do a presentation or something to help grow that for that. Because I think it'll be so good if we'll have this chapters in all counties that's able to pass this information on. And
look, find us on social media. We're out
follow at Facebook and Instagram. See what's happening out here. See how many people has been affected. See how many people that we've been able to reach from this, and just keep pressing on. I just want to thank y'all so much for y'all commitment, because I know it's hard work, and there's no rest for the weary.
I agree. It's important work, but we do it gladly. So thank you for the opportunity to bring some awareness.
For it and stuff. And folks, we thank y'all so much for attending tonight. But I'm thanking Mr. and Mrs. Johnson for their ability to just go ahead and keep pressing on to do this. We thank God for them, that they're giving them the energy to keep going on to spread this legacy as we go down this road for it. And folks, I'm going to reiterate on Thursday. That's March 19th. Come through, please. Don't come empty-handed. 10 a.m. I'm going to be the voice of reason. Don't come empty-handed, but come to unite, have that conversation, celebrate the victories they have accomplished during this time. And let's plan for this thing to expand greater and greater over the next years to come for it.
Yeah.
Thank y'all so much, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson.
Thank you. Thank you for having
I
me.
look forward to seeing you Thursday, and y'all have a great evening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.